It is just a normal weekday. Strangely, when I back to home, the door is not locked. My husband came home already. While he usually comes home very late, I ask,
"Why are you home so early?"
The response was my husband's terrifying silence. I don't care anymore. Then I move to the kitchen and start cooking dinner. At this time, my phone rang. I pick it up and hear my husband's voice.
"I am home late tonight."
I am startled. If it was my husband on the phone, so who was that? At this moment, my husband on the sofa turns around. Please like and subscribe to watch more my story.
What if
I was an adult, but my mother always told me not to open the door to strangers. That made me uncomfortable. I said don't think of me as a child anymore. But that incident made me regret it. I was home alone. My mother's voice rang at the door and asked me to open the door. While I was opening the door, suddenly my phone rang. A message from my mother said Mom is almost home. I stopped and panicked, but my mother's voice continued to ring outside the door. I cautiously looked through the peephole. A face that looked exactly like my mother was staring at me. Please like and subscribe to watch more my story. Sunny had extremely ugly hair. The girls at school would always laugh at her. This made Sunny determined to change. She went Ed to become the center of attention. From then on, Sunny came to school with a new, gorgeous hairstyle. Everyone admired her and gathered around her, but meanwhile, missing person posters kept appearing around the school. No one cared because they were too focused on Sunny's hair. At home, Sunny's face beamed with satisfaction. She removed the wig from her head, revealing a bald scalp. Sunny walked over to her closet and opened it. Inside were the heads of the missing people, each with their hair still intact, except for one head, which was bald. Sunny smirked and hung the wig she was holding back onto the bald head. Please like and subscribe to watch more my story. Jenny is my classmate. She is a beautiful girl. Jenny's lover is the school's hot boy, Bob. Their love makes nerds like me admire. But recently Jenny is sometimes very strange. During class, she always writes some letters, but when I ask her what she writes, she always avoids it and answers that she did nothing. Until one day, the police found her body and the murderer was his boyfriend. That scared me to death, and then I suddenly remembered the signatures she wrote. I quickly ran to the classroom, took all the letters and put them together. I read the piece of paper with a shocked face. Please like and subscribe to watch more my story.
Excuse me, are you...
Ellie hated her own daughter because she had an ugly face. When she was with her daughter, Ellie was always gossiped about and pointed at. That made Ellie hate her daughter more and more. Then Ellie decided to kill her daughter by putting a pillow on her face. Ellie's daughter struggled and died. A year later, Ellie became pregnant. She gave birth to a beautiful daughter. Everyone around felt happy when seeing the mother and daughter. One day, when both of them were watching TV, suddenly the daughter asked Ellie a question that made her face pale. The daughter asked,
Why you kill me?
Please like and subscribe to watch more my story. My mother is a wonderful person. She cooks well and takes good care of us. But there is a secret, so she always forbids me from going near her room. Every night, she always leaves us to eat dinner ourselves. And she goes into her room and closes the door. From the outside, I can hear her talking to someone. But when I ask her again the next morning, she always says that I'm paranoid. And today, like every other day, I hear voices coming from her room. This time, I decide to open her door. I quickly open her door and am scared to death. Please like and subscribe to watch more my story.
Lily is an ugly girl. So that a next coming prom, no one wants to invite her to go with. That makes Lily sad. She sits alone crying under a tree in the yard. At this time Tiffany stands from afar looking at Lily. Then Tiffany approaches Lily and says,
"Let me help you become beautiful."
Lily looks at Tiffany with a puzzled look. Tiffany starts to put makeup on Lily. The prom night begins. Lily happily walks in. Everyone looks at her in surprise, then bursts out laughing. Then Tiffany walks forward with a contemptuous face. He smirks and laughs loudly and holds up the mirror. Lily is surprised by her ugly face. She angrily looks at Tiffany, then leaves. A few days later, the news reports that Tiffany has been missing for unknown reasons. In the city forest, Lily holds a shovel standing in front of a pile of dirt and says,
You bastard.
Lily.
Alice has a crush on Jason. He is a smart, kind, handsome boy and is extremely good to Alice. But unfortunately, Jason loves Alice's twin sister Amy. This makes Alice extremely upset. But one day, Alice gets into a car accident. Everyone becomes sad. Amy cries because of her sister's death. Jason is by her side to comfort her. Jason takes her out to eat. Takes her out. He makes a joke that makes Amy laugh out loud and that makes Amy better. That night, after saying goodbye to Jason, Amy goes to her room and stares at the picture on the wall of the two sisters. Then Amy sneers and says,
Jason is mine now.
Jessica had just bought this house, but every night Jessica always heard noises coming from inside the bedroom wall. But when Jessica put her ear to it, the noise disappeared.
Huh?
And then one day when she was about to go to sleep, Jessica heard her name being called from the other side of the wall. Jessica approached the wall and pulled out a hammer. A door suddenly opened to a mysterious room, surrounded by pages from the Holy Book. Jessica was confused, but she still decided to go to sleep. Jessica closed her eyes and lay on the bed. At this time her name was called again. Jessica slowly opened her eyes and panicked. Mimi lives in a dormitory with a friend. She usually returns after school. As usual, Mimi returns to the dormitory, but does not see her roommate. She wants to sleep immediately, so don't turn on the light. At this time, Mimi sees a dark shadow next to the mirror. She is startled and stops and then breathes a sigh of relief. Mimi thinks it is her roommate. Mimi says,
It's late, go to sleep.
Then Mimi goes to bed and sleeps. But the next morning, Mimi is shocked. On the bed next to is the bloody body of her roommate. On the wall is a red line. Mimi lives in a